First off, I'm truly blown away by our defensive effort. To have a team have 74 deflections, I've never been a part of a team. There's an assistant or a head coach that's had that. We had 32 deflections at halftime, which was a very good feeling because there was so much, I think, anxiety offensively, and we were missing layups. We missed a couple dunks, and it was just a matter of time before they got before the baskets went in. We felt, because obviously we were being defended well, but we were also missing shots that we make. And the biggest adjustment we needed to make was make sure the ball was getting inside more in the second half. But with all that being said, the defensive effort, the defensive intensity, to never lose the lead even when we were making shots, and to have 32 deflections at half was only surpassed by the fact that we had 74 for the game. And it was a great atmosphere, an incredible atmosphere. And they're a very, very good team. It was my first time, I've seen them in the tournament a little bit, but the first time being on the court with those guys, obviously, and just to see the toughness. And there's no question why they win. I mean, they're extremely well coached, and they are battlers. And our guys are too, and that's why I'm proud of them. And to play the way they did defensively, to go 10 minutes or so without a field goal and to never relinquish the lead says a lot about the way that they're playing, the way our guys are continuing to hang in there. There'll be some good moments for us to look back on, and the maturity moment is the fact that we never lost the lead when we weren't making baskets, because that wouldn't have happened maybe for us in the past. But we kept bringing it defensively. We kept getting to the 50-50s. And as I told the team, I think you got better in the game, but I know you got tougher in the game. And that's a big, big deal, because when you're going to play against elite teams, which I believe they are, and they've certainly earned that over a period of time, you better bring that level of toughness. And we did. So, and one thing, I don't know if you caught it, it was a big deal to me, certainly hoping that it would work out this way, and it did, and it might have only been a minute, but we closed the game with the 5 seniors on the court together. And they've been through an awful lot here, an awful lot. They didn't sign up for it, I didn't sign up for it, but we've been through it together. And to have that one moment, I don't know if we'll ever have it again, as seniors, but to have that moment where they could finish the game and win. We really didn't talk about the championship very much, or winning a championship. We hit it here and there, but this was so much more about getting ready for a really good team. And but then when we did have the game in hand, to be able to let those guys finish it off, that's a great memory for me, and hopefully for them, and just something I wanted to share, because they've done an excellent job. I don't know if we get to where we were at the end of the game without the contributions of Tom Pritchard, without the way Matt Roth played. And Matt Roth made a big shot, obviously, but he did some really good things defensively and blocking out. Tom Pritchard was just a gazelle. I mean, it was hard to hear anything, but I could hear him all the way down where we were. Danny Moore came in and did good things, certainly, and Verdell was under the weather a little bit, but he just kept playing, and I was proud of him. And it was good to have Corey Barnett in there at the end as well. So, go ahead.
You talked a lot about 7 starters and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about Sheehy coming off the bench and the spark he continues to give.
Well, again, he's the only thing about being off the bench is when we put him in. He could easily be in the starting lineup. The thing that was the turning point for our game tonight is when Hopkins got hot. I think he made 6 straight or 8 straight, and Victor was not at his best with him, and he was feeling it. And Will wanted the matchup, and it's something we're very comfortable with. But he went in there and did something with it. And Will really did a great job of reading the game and taking the shots that were there, attacking, moving the ball. And he was tremendous defensively, not just on the ball with Hopkins, but just how he played. And he's got some real innate ability to read situations. And I always call him our backline captain, because if we were a pressing team, we'd have him in the back where he could really talk to his teammates. Well, he was doing that while he was guarding other really good players tonight. So he's a great example tonight of your defense getting your offense going at a high rate, and really proud of the way he played.
You talk about him reading situations. How good is he finding ways to get to the line? It seemed like he knew exactly how to place things where he knew when he could draw a foul, even in transition, and guys were just a little bit out of control.
Absolutely. I mean, we wanted to run. We knew they were going to be good in transition defense. They always are. But we didn't want that to take our initiative away from getting to the basket, throwing it ahead. And he did a great job with reading that. And and he didn't force things, which was important tonight. And but he's had a really good week, a really good week. He's been locked in, and he's coming off last week where he was good, and he'd had his career high, right, twice, and now he went over it. But proud of the way he is playing. He's a very smart player. He's cerebral, but he's very aggressive, and he's got an attack mentality, and that came alive tonight.
I think last year the team started out 6-0, and this year's team 6-0. What's the difference you've seen so far in this?
Well, I don't ever think of it like that. You know, we haven't spent a lot of time, and we really haven't looked at any last year film other than maybe when we start getting ready for opponents that we played a year ago. But I would say, just thinking about that, it would certainly be the maturity. The team is maturing. Cody makes a huge difference. I mean, that's obvious, and there's such a presence with him. But everybody's better. They're developing. I mean, they're developing at a really high rate. And I would also say that I got a coaching staff that I'd put up against any in America. And there's a lot of really good coaching staffs out there. But this one is something else. And they did a great job preparing for this game. They did do a great job with our players. And I think that the fact that we never relinquished the lead and we continued to defend at a high level and we weren't making baskets. An immature team doesn't let that happen. We'd have lost it somewhere, okay? And I didn't even know it. So, I mean, it never even registered to me that we weren't making baskets because I couldn't tell any difference in our team. So they're very locked in. These guys are really locked in. I think you've seen it over a period of time. Doesn't mean we play great all the time, but they're very locked in.
With defense being a question mark coming into the season,
Whose question mark? Yours?
With defense being a focus, I guess.
Well, it's always a focus. It's a focus all the time.
With, I guess, just this season, especially after last season, kind of struggling on defense at times, how important is it to be a scrappy defensive run like this?
Well, I think you've been covering the games, right? I mean, we've been fairly scrappy. This isn't the first time we've had a lot of deflections. This is an aggressive unit, and they work very hard defensively. They have a lot of interest in being good. They have a lot of interest in defending, and they have a lot of interest in getting better.
You complimented Butler at the very beginning, saying how tough and scrappy they were. Just building on that, the fact that this team had some trouble closing out games last year, obviously these guys improved.
Who are you talking about, Butler or us?
No,
Lost you.
You guys.
Okay. We started with talking about Butler. That's why I asked.
Getting back to this game, I guess. The fact that they've done a good job closing out teams, they did it again here tonight. How big is that closing out a Butler team that's had some games like that in the past?
Well, I think you got to. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You've got to be able to close the game. And against the good teams, you know they're not going away, and they're never going to stop coming at you. And I think that's, from what I know of Butler, I think that's a big part. I don't know what the statistic would be, but in the last 5 minutes of games, I would never pick against them. You know, in the way that they come and play, and our guys knew that. I mean, so they were going to come and play. We knew we were going to have to play a 40-minute game. I think it's just a maturity process. I think it's an important step that you don't have empty possessions. Empty possessions meaning bad turnovers, and we had a few tonight. I mean, we tried to do a couple of things where we didn't read the defense as well and situations, but we've got a long way to go. You know, we really do. We played 6 games. We've won 6 games. We've got a long way to go. There's a ton of things to get better at, and but I like the maturity and I like where they're heading with it.
You alluded to this, but you're up 3 at halftime. Seemed like you guys left a lot of points out there.
We did, yeah.
You know, what was your message to them at halftime?
You know what? It was. We got to have some positive energy in this room because all we're doing is missing easy baskets. So there was no yelling, there was no challenging, there was no any of that. We didn't need to. I mean, we had 32 deflections. We haven't had a half, but I think we had an exhibition where we had 32 deflections at half. So we were active. They really wanted to play well. And I think there was an anxiousness a little bit that hurt us maybe offensively. We just needed to settle down, take some deep breaths, keep getting the shots that were there. And again, like I said, Butler had something to do with that. I mean, they're very good defensively. But we were getting the ball where we wanted it. We just needed to do it more often, and we needed to have a little bit more focus on our finishing.
How did you feel Cody did in his first real test against the big guys?
Well, I think he did excellent. But also I think he guarded a lot of different people. And certainly Andrew Smith is very good. But Cody did an excellent job of figuring out the game. You know, I don't think Cody's too used to shooting an air ball and, you know, maybe having a challenge shot. He had to play through those kind of things. And I think the thing I'll look back at tonight with Cody is that he definitely, he matured through this game in the sense of that he didn't let things rattle him. And there were a couple of times maybe that could have gone either way for him, you know, and he just kept going. I think our fans were great with that, the teammates were great with that, but it's just a matter of time before Cody's going to break out and get something done really well, and he did that.
Just to get this one clear, what is your definition of a deflection, by the way?
A deflection is, it's not a rebound, okay? So it's for us, it's a charge. For us, we count it as a shot clock violation, okay? But it's a tip. I tip it, you grab it, deflection for me, deflection for you. It's a block shot, it's a steal, it's a loose ball, but it's just not a rebound. So if the ball's loose off the board, now it bounces off to midcourt, that's another story, but if it's loose off the board, that's just a loose ball rebound. That's a 50-50. But our hands were all over the place. I mean, that's an amazing game. We had 14 steals, they had 13, so some turnovers, but our guys were really active, really active. Mm-hmm. Well, it's extremely important. It's extremely important because good teams, they've got to be 25% or better. Your points have got to be coming from the foul line. We've never been to that point. And the big thing for us was to cut our fouling down. We're making progress. We've still got a ways to go with that. But we were 5th in the BCS last year, and I've said this before, so I'm not trying to repeat it, but we were 5th in the BCS in free throw percentage. We were 53rd in free throw attempts. So if we could cut the fouling down and at the same time get our free throw attempts up, you know, it's something we do a pretty good job of. Cody certainly brings more to the table than we've ever had on that, but everybody else is as well. And I think our guys are understanding, this is another part of the maturity. This maybe goes back to George's question, what's different? If we were, we might be in that bonus situation, we still might be taking jump shots. Our guys understand that when that bonus is, when they smell the bonus, it's time to get to the rim. And if we're going to keep getting better, we're going to have to keep doing that. And that's important for our progress.
Coach, what did Krishan Hawkins do to cause you problems in the first half, and how did you eliminate him in the second?
Well, he's quick. He's really quick. He's fast with the ball. He's got the three-point shot. He can get to the basket. He's got the mid-range game. So when you have those three attributes, you're a hard matchup. We do a great job of getting him open off screens and handoffs. And I think we just, I don't know. I mean, our length was good. We didn't lose him. We didn't give him uncontested shots, which was really important. And, I mean, there was always awareness. He was one of the keys to the game, so I don't want to say we were more aware. I think we just did a better job of staying with him.
Victor got his pocket picked, and then instead of hanging his head, went right back down and blocked the shot. I mean, what kind of impact did that have? It's just setting an example.
I remember that. I didn't remember he got it stolen. But, well, it got the crowd going. That was good. But the crowd was already going. But that's a maturity. Let's not let one wrong turn into two. You know, he went back and he made something happen. And that's the kind of maturity that he's starting to show. And I think it carries over to both sides of the court for him. All right, thanks.